Today, we're talking with the Software of the Year, an award that quietly asks the most dangerous question in appraisal. Does this actually help? This recognition is not for shiny dashboards, heroic promises, or software that requires a support group to operate. It is for technology that makes the work clearer, steadier, and occasionally even humane. This conversation is about tools that adopt to appraisers instead of the other way around, and about progress that shows up in the workflow rather than the marketing copy. If you have ever sworn at your screen and meant it personally, this one may restore a little bit of faith. Stick around.
Don't believe the fiction that property data collectors do the same job as appraisers. Property data collectors and appraisers have two distinct roles. Property data collectors perform an objective, fact-based collection and reporting of data and do not provide any opinion on value. Appraisers develop and provide an opinion of value on a property using various sources. Get the facts. fanniemae.com/propertydata. You're listening to the Appraisal Buzzcast with your host, Hal Humphreys.
Welcome back, everyone, to today's Appraisal Buzzcast. I'm Jim Morrison. Let me bring in our host, Hal Humphreys. Hey, Hal, how are you doing?
Jim, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm really excited. We are announcing another Buzzy winner award today. We are doing the Software of the Year for 2026, and we're so excited to welcome back in Matt Johnson of SFREP. Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, guys. How you guys doing?
Good. Well, we just had Matt on, so it's a quick turnaround, but we're excited to bring him back and talk about the award that they've won for 2026 Software of the Year. So, Hal and Matt, I'll let you guys get into it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim. Matt, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us again. And congratulations to you and the entire team at SFREP on being named 2026 Software of the Year. Give us a brief introduction to yourself and your role at SFREP.
So I'm the communications director at SFREP. I'm in my 20th year with the company. I'm from Charlotte. I still live there. Was living up in the mountains. Most of our operations are in the mountains of Western North Carolina, and moved back to Charlotte recently after COVID. We all kind of went work from home. But yeah, I kind of do all of our webinars, and I do our training videos and all of our customer outreach. I go to all the shows like the Val Expo, and we love going to the shows. They're always a lot of fun.
I love it. I love it. Well, you and I just spoke not too long ago, so let's focus on this award. What does being named Software of the Year mean to you and your team?
It's a huge deal for our team. The GSEs did not give the software companies enough time to do all of this. So, we're a small company of the big four that I like to say, Bradford, ACI, Alamo, and us. We are the smallest, and we have worked tirelessly hard to get all of this done and out the door. And it turned out that we were the second to get the interface out the door and ready to go and get verified, but we were the first of the big four. That was a huge deal for us. We were also the first to actually get a UAD 3.6 report delivered, which was a huge deal for us. And then this recognition meant the world to us. We don't, especially our developers, they're behind the scenes. I'm myself and Remington, our CEO, are kind of the face of the company, but our developers work long hours, and they've done a lot of hard work and a lot of good quality work. And I definitely dedicate this to them, because without them, none of this would have been possible. And they did an amazing feat in getting our interface done and out the door. I'm supremely proud of them.
Yeah, and you should be. Here's the thing. This was a heavy lift. Yeah. And your guys, I'm guessing, did not work from 9 o'clock in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon without a 1 hour lunch break. I'm guessing they were working around the clock on this on some days.
Oh, absolutely. One of my best friends is one of the primary developers for the company. When we used to be in offices, we would all, some of us would share offices, and we became good friends. And I'm a photographer, and we like going out and doing photography field trips, and we just haven't been able to do it for the last 2 years. We like to game. Cat haven't been able to game because he's just burning that midnight oil. All of us are. And honestly, I want to thank all of the people that voted for us. Our customers are amazing, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have food on the table. I wouldn't have money in my bank account, and we really appreciate all of the help that they've given us as testers and giving us feedback. And I just can't say enough about our developers. Some of them, they're all young. So a lot of them are in their 20s and 30s, and some of them are fresh out of college, and this is their first big project, and they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, hats off to them. Just the entire team over there at SFREP. Hats off to you guys. Great work. And getting verified, not approved, getting verified by the GSEs is a big deal. But getting the first UAD 3.6 appraisal through the pipe. Tell us about that process, how it went, what it means to be first in that sense.
Yeah, so Adam was the first. He's a North Carolina appraiser. I love that it was a North Carolina. No, I'm from North Carolina. It was a North Carolina project from start to finish. Adam is a appraiser in the Raleigh metro area. The bank was from Raleigh. And then the AMC that was used, or the portal that was used, was out of Chapel Hill. So it was all a North Carolina thing. And were contacted by North State Bank. They said, "Hey, we have an appraiser who has a UAD 3.6 report that they want to put out." And the appraiser, I'm gonna say who he's with, but he was with another software provider, and that software provider was not ready for UAD 3.6 yet. So he was like, "Hey, can we use your software?" And we offer a 6-month free demo. So we put him on a 6-month free demo. I got on a Zoom call with him and taught him how to use Appraise It Pro and how to use our UAD 3.6 interface. And then, to his credit, he just went to town. He took his laptop with him. He set up shop in the person's home and kind of typed it out, because our at the time our mobile app wasn't yet ready. So he kind of did it in the field. We learned a lot from that process. Some of it we've taken to heart, and we've got some new features that are going to come to Appraise It Pro just solely based on his experience and his feedback to us. So yeah, we were super proud and excited to be involved in that.
That's awesome. I love that story. That's great. The way and that real-time feedback with a customer in the field doing the thing. This award reflects how appraisers actually use technology in the field. You got immediate feedback from the first appraiser to get a report through the system, but what other feedback have you gotten from appraisers that SFREP is using to solve real problems today?
We learned I would honestly say the number of people that have done a UAD 3.6 report and put it through, I could probably count on my fingers and my toes. Not a lot of them yet. But a couple of things we've learned. I think that a lot of people are super anxious and nervous and have very strong feelings about UAD 3.6. One of the things that I think that I've learned, and that some of the appraisers have learned who have done them, is that doing a UAD 3.6 report is actually easier. Hold on now, because I'll explain what I mean by that. It's actually easier than doing a current UAD 2.6 report, in that the filling of it out is very simple. There's a lot of pull downs. There's a lot of pull down means there's a lot of check boxes, and date pickers, but then there's just a lot of free form text boxes where you can write out things narratively. There is more data that you have to collect, and there's more data that you got to input and crunch on, but filling out the report is actually easier. Now, of course, it's going to take you much longer on your first few reports because you're not used to it, but we weren't used to doing UAD 2.6 with all its cryptic abbreviations a couple of years ago, and now it's old hat. So I think that's what I've learned, and I think that that's what some of the appraisers learned, and us as a company. Yeah. But specifically, we've also learned a couple of things about the process of being in the field and collecting data. I think that A mobile app is definitely key. All of us have been saying that from the day one of this, but also we've learned, appraisers they will often be very set in their ways, we'll say. And so we are going to be putting out in Appraise It Pro, paper checklists for those that don't want to do using a mobile app, don't want to go mobile yet. I think that you may use the checklist a little bit and then decide you probably want to go mobile. But we're going to allow people to do that. But one key thing is in our software, we have learned that we are going to have a mobile interface in the program itself, because what Adam said when he did his first report was, he took his laptop and set up shop on the kitchen counter, kind of like how a home inspector does.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have an actual interface in our software that is kind of mobile app-esque, that will just be for filling out all the information that you need to gather in the field, and then you can just transfer that into the actual report itself.
Okay, okay. You pointed out that we appraisers, folks like me, we tend to be a little bit reticent to change and try new processes. And I think it's because we get used to a process. It makes sense to us. It may not make sense to anyone else on earth, but it makes sense to us. And we kind of build our day and our activities around that process, and changing that process is a big deal for us out here in the field.
For sure.
But software also has to evolve quickly right now, especially with changes like UAD 3.6 and new data expectations. You talked about your developers, the heavy lift that they've been doing, and that I'm assuming that work has not stopped. It's not you get across the finish line, yay, we're done. Their work continues. How has this environment influenced your development priorities going forward?
Well, one thing I will say, and I obviously I can only speak for our product, Appraise It Pro, but I will also caution those of you who are watching who use a la mode, who use ACI, who use Bradford, who use Ivory. Expect the initial process to be a little bare bones. All of us software providers are working our butts off to make sure that we can get this stuff out to you guys as quickly as possible. But because we weren't given enough time, there are quality of life improvements that are coming from all of the software vendors. I'm friends with Joel. I'm friends with Andy over at Freedom Appraise. Like, we're all in the same boat here. We're all friends and we're friendly competitors. Give your software vendor grace. They are working their butts off to get this out to you guys. And whatever that initial product is, understand that there will be quality of life improvements coming, and things will just only get better. And that is definitely, we have blocked out the entirety of 2026 in our development calendar for polishing, doing that spit and polish on Appraise It Pro, helping out the third-party vendors like Spark and Data Master and all of those in getting their integrations working with our software. Don't forget about them. Give them grace too. They're working very, very hard to integrate with Alamode, to integrate with ACI, to integrate with Bradford, to integrate with SFREP. So we're in spit and polish mode now. We've got the core done. Now we really need to work on those quality of life improvements. That's one of my favorite phrases, quality of life improvements. That's what you can expect in 2026, I think, from all of the software vendors.
I think you're right about that. I'm probably going to get a phone call from somebody at one of the GSEs saying, we gave them plenty of time. But aside from that,
You didn't. I'm
they've
telling
known
you.
for years. You're talking about the quality of life issues, and I know that you guys and all of the other software vendors have some kind of ease of use things they're working on, and some powerful features they want to work into the software that nobody's had time yet to really start working on. How do you balance these powerful features with keeping the software practical and intuitive?
So to kind of, because I know what all of the software vendors are doing, because we show up at all of these shows, we have drinks together, we see what everybody's doing, and so I can tell you the way that we are doing the UAD 3.6 interface is actually the same, roughly, what Alamode's doing. And a lot of this is because we rewrote our software from the ground up, all new code in 2019. So we use the same development environment that Microsoft uses for things like Microsoft Office. Our software looks very similar to Microsoft Office. Because we're on that very modern code base, we were able to take the U83.6 interface and put it into our existing software. And by doing that, we're presenting the form to the user, or excuse me, the report to the user, because you can't call it a form.
It's not a form, it's a report.
We're showing the report to the user in a WYSIWYG format, which is industry speak or software speak for what you see is what you get, meaning that you are filling out a digital version of the printed report.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering what that is, that's what all of you, no matter what software you're using, have been doing for decades. And so we wanted to keep that same paradigm so that when a user starts using U83.6, it's not a giant change in the way that they're doing things. Now, ACI and Bradford have chosen a different route. They're doing web-based and they're doing more of a fill out, they're not showing you it as an actual, printed document per se. You're filling out some stuff, they're guiding you through the process. And there are advantages and disadvantages to both ways. But what we decided to do, and I think it was Alamode's thinking as well, that we want to present it in the most concise way that appraisers have been doing for a long time, so that learning curve is going to be minimized.
This sounds like you guys probably spend a lot of time talking about UX, UI. For the end user, how does this work for me? I'm an appraiser. I'm out here in the field. I'm used to seeing a form. And it helps me to kind of keep on track. And I think that UX UI discussion of do we show it to them in the way that it's going to be printed as a report so that they can see that they've done everything? That works for me. That makes sense to me. A lot of us appraisers out here, we're kind of cautious about adopting new tools. I would say even sometimes afraid to adopt new tools. What advice would you give to someone like me who's still kind of hesitant to change their workflow?
And of course, this depends on what software you're using, and I can really only speak to our software. With our software, I don't think you have to change your workflow that much. You're obviously going to be gathering more information in the field. So you're going, start booking out more time, especially in the beginning. This is all going to be new. So book out more time in the field and be very cognizant of what you're gathering and how much time it is. You don't want to, because you're probably going to end up doing this, but you don't want to go back out to the report to the location multiple times. But you might have to do that in the first 3 or 4 until you really get this down pat. A couple of things everybody should know: you cannot pick and choose the order of a U83.6 report. That order is set by the GSEs. They want a U83.6 report to look the same no matter what software provider did it or what appraiser did it. So the days of, setting yourself apart by moving things around and having it be, in a nice format and a nice order are over. And remember that the way that you fill out a report may be in a different order than what the finished product is, because the finished product is going to be ordered in a way that makes the most sense for the end user, the person who's buying or selling the house that's reading the report. It's going to be great for them. Yeah. For you, you're probably going to have to jump around the interface. And remember, it being a dynamic report, you really want to start at the beginning before you go moving around, because that's going to dictate, the report's smart. It needs to know if you're doing a duplex. It needs to know if you're doing a townhome. It needs to know if you're doing a single family home, so that it will show you the correct stuff later on in the report. That's how it works in our software. I'm pretty sure that's the way it's going to work in Alamode and the others as well. I would say don't be overly anxious about this. It's actually not hard to fill out one of these reports. And the big advice that I give in our webinars, by the way, if anybody wants to watch our back webinars or they want to join us for one of ours, you don't have to be a customer of ours. You can go and watch them. It's on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SFREP. Click on live. You can see the webinars that I've done on this. But the big thing I would tell people to do is you need to download Appendix F1. fanniemae.com/UAD. It's about halfway down the page. Download Appendix F1. It's a PDF. It's about 376 pages. Keep that on your desktop. Open that up on another monitor when you do your first report and learn how to search through a PDF. That's the big thing. If you don't know what goes into a certain field, search for that field in that PDF and it tells you everything. Don't read the PDF. It's 376 pages or something like that, but it is going to be your best friend for sure.
Here's the thing you mentioned earlier in the show, the version of 2.6 where we had to memorize all these abbreviations, that kind of stuff. That's gone. They've given us a cheat sheet in Appendix F1 that allows you to go look through and see what's what. That's the thing. That's one of the things about this process that I'm really excited about is you don't have to be curious or even phone a friend. Open up Appendix F1, type in the specific, field you're looking for, and it will tell you exactly what they're looking for. That's a really useful tool. Matt, what I will say is that the playing around that I've done with UAD 3.6 and my software is it takes me longer in the field.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. I'm spending more time on site, but here's where I'm saving so much time is on the back end at the office, where I used to have to hand things off to an assistant, have them type or sit there and type myself and do that business. It's done. It's just done. I don't have to spend all that time at the desk doing that business. So,
absolutely.
I think,
and there's no little interface that has to pop up and how you have to fill out so that it gets the formatting right. You just type into a field. You don't have to worry. You don't have to grab your mouse and keep clicking over. It's going to be better.
It is better. It just is. So, Matt, let me ask you this. Get out your crystal ball. Looking ahead, what excites you most about where appraisal technology is head over the next few years?
AI, of course, it's hard to get away from. We don't have AI in the sense that we think about AI now in our software yet. When we think of AI now, we think of ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot. But there is a smart aspect, traditional AI in the software, in that the report starts to learn what you're doing, what type of property you're doing, and then it needs to know, okay, well, I'm going to show them this, and this is going to mean something, like this needs to be in there. But no matter who your software is, start looking for AI, including ours, to start showing up. We're in the Microsoft ecosystem, so we have access to APIs for application program interfaces, so ways to talk to other programs with Copilot. So I anticipate over late 2026 into 2027, you might start seeing things from Copilot to help you with writing your report. Because one of the great things that AI can do, I'm not a great believer in using AI to write things for you, but I love feeding what I've already written into AI and have it look over it for me, check for grammar, things like that. It's excellent for things like that, polishing things up. Look for that kind of stuff to get in with it. And also AI is great at just taking workload off of you. We have a mobile app now with Instaplan from the folks over at McKenna. And one of the great things it does is as you're, auto scanning with LiDAR of your property, and you're taking your photos, it just knows, oh, this is the living room, this is the bedroom, this is the kitchen, this is the outside of the house, this is the front view. It knows all of that stuff, and it can just label all that stuff for you. So, a lot of people are worried about AI. I think AI is going to make your job easier and make the report writing process easier. It is not going to replace an appraiser.
I agree 100%. Matt, I need to take a quick break and hear from one of our sponsors, and we will be right back.
LIA Administrators and Insurance Services, serving valuation professionals since 1978. We provide E&O insurance with a commitment to superior customer service, outstanding liability education, and unmatched claim defense. Explore our exclusive appraiser liability education by Peter Christensen and cost-effective seminars designed to foster your growth. Our underwriters, with an average of 26 years of experience each, are dedicated to supporting appraisers. Visit liability.com to discover how LIA can safeguard your business.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to the Appraisal Buzzcast. I'm Hal Humphreys, your host. I'm joined today by Matt Johnson from SFREP. Matt and his team at SFREP have been selected Software of the Year for 2026. That is not our selection here at Appraisal Buzz. That is a selection made by people out there in the world using the products. Matt, Jim Morrison likes to come at me with these anonymous appraiser questions a lot of times. I'm hopeful that he might let us off the hook today. Jim, do we have an anonymous appraiser question to trip us up?
I am going to let you guys off the hook today.
Oh, thank goodness.
If anybody has any comments for us, reach out to us at comments@appraisalbuzz.com. But if you do want to ask a hard question of Matt or Hal in person, you can do it in Orlando, March 6th for our UAD 3.6 Roadshow and Boot Camp. We'll include the link for everyone to join us. And if you can't make it to Florida, which it's freezing here where I am, I'm looking forward to getting down to Florida. But if you can't make it there, it'll be available online as well. So we're looking forward to seeing you there, Matt. And congratulations again on the award.
Thank you so much, and super excited for Orlando, absolutely, and for all the places we're going to be showing up this year. It's going to be a lot of fun, lots of great places to travel to this year.
I think this is going to be a fantastic year for all of us, and I'm really excited. As a real estate appraiser, as a practicing appraiser, I'm really excited about what this year and next year looks like for us as appraisers. Matt, congratulations one more time to you and the entire SFREP team of being named 2026 Software of the Year. Thank you for continuing to innovate and support appraisers across the country. We look forward to celebrating with you in person at the Buzzy Awards ceremony and Val Expo, which will be held at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas from August 16 to August 19. Be there. It's going to be fun. Jim, do we have anything else we need to cover today?
No, that's it. As Matt said, they're going to be at actually all the conferences around the country. So if you want to get your hands on their software in person, come to one of the conferences. We have, our roadshow in Orlando. We have AXE in Seattle. We have Valuation Expo and Appraisal Summit. So we'll see you at one of them.
Cheers,
yeah,
Matt. Thank you so
being an
much.
aviation enthusiast, I'm really looking forward to Seattle. So,
Are you an aviation enthusiast?
oh yeah.
Are you a pilot, Matt?
I have taken courses, but I have just not had the time to complete it. My dad was an airline pilot though, so
Okay.
I got the bug from him.
I've been a certificated pilot for quite some time. I love flying. Have not done it in so many years that I think I would not be safe to get in a plane by myself. But I'm too an aviation enthusiast, and I'm looking forward to Seattle as well.
It'll be fun.
Jim Morrison, if we have nothing else, for Jim Morrison and Matt Johnson, I'm Hal Humphreys, and that is your Appraisal Buzzcast for this week.